American Express is some of the best credit cards that are out there, but the problem is, how do you know which ones to get? Well, I have the solution for you because in this video, I'm going to give a full breakdown on the top 5 best American Express credit cards for 2023, which will give you a good idea of which credit cards you should be applying for next. And make sure you watch throughout this video because I'll also be going over my #1 pick for the best American Express credit card in 2023, which honestly goes pretty under the radar because it's not one of the most famous or most popular American Express cards. And I'm actually willing to bet that there's probably people out there who love American Express credit cards that probably don't even know about this card. So when most people think of American Express credit cards, they usually think of some of those higher tier cards like the AMEX Gold or AMEX Platinum. And I will get into some of those higher tier, more luxury type cards later in the video. But the first credit card that made my list for the top 5 best American Express credit cards is actually going to be one of the best cashback, no annual fee cards out there. And that is going to be the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card. The AMEX Blue Cash Everyday card is going to give you the ability to earn a $200 bonus if you're able to spend $2,000 or more in the first 6 months of having the card. And that's a pretty standard bonus for a no annual fee credit card, but you will have 6 months to meet that spend requirement. So that should give you plenty of time to lock in that welcome bonus. However, the reason that the AMEX Blue Cash Everyday card is a great card, and the reason that this card made my list for the best American Express credit cards, is due to how well-rounded this card is in terms of its spending categories that it covers. The point multipliers on the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card are going to be 3% back at US grocery stores, online retail purchases, and gas stations, and then 1% back on everything else. In other words, people spend a lot of money at grocery stores for online retail purchases like Amazon and at gas stations. So the AMEX Blue Cash Everyday card is truly your everyday card in which you can use this card for a lot of your common purchases and get that elevated cashback rate. Additionally, despite the AMEX Blue Cash Everyday card not having an annual fee, you are going to get some credits on this card, which is a pretty unheard of benefit for a card that does not have an annual fee. Those credits are going to be an $84 Disney bundle subscription, which is going to be broken up into $7 monthly increments. And then you'll also get a $180 Home Chef credit, but it's going to be broken up into $15 in monthly statement credits. And Home Chef is basically a food delivery service that sends you a box with all of the ingredients that you need to make a home-cooked meal of your choosing. So overall, the AMEX Blue Cash Everyday card is going to be a great option as a no annual fee credit card that is going to cover a lot of major spending categories. And it's going to get you those additional credits. It's kind of like a cherry on top, with the AMEX Blue Cash Everyday card also being a great entryway into building a relationship with American Express, so you can have a higher chance of being approved for some of those higher tier American Express cards in the future. Speaking on some of those higher tier American Express cards, the next card that made my list for the best Amex cards in 2023 is going to be a super popular card that I personally have, and that card is going to be the AMEX Gold Card. The American Express Gold Card does have an annual fee of $250, but that card is also going to give you the ability to earn 60,000 AMEX points if you were able to spend $4,000 or more in the first 6 months of having the card. But the real reason that the AMEX Gold Card is so popular is because this card has a fantastic mix of having some valuable credits that can lower your effective fee on this card, plus having some super strong point multipliers for some common spending categories, so you can use this card as your daily driver for a lot of your common purchases. Speaking on some of those point multipliers, the AMEX Gold Card is going to give you point multipliers of 4x back on restaurants worldwide, 4x back on groceries, 3x back on flights booked directly with airlines or with the Amex travel portal, and then 1x back on everything else. So for a lot of people, restaurants and groceries are probably going to be 2 of the most common spending categories. So the AMEX Gold Card is going to hold a special place in your wallet to get exposure and get that high multiplier to those categories. Plus, not only are you already going to have a card that's going to be one of the most used cards in your wallet, but you're also going to get some really valuable credits that can lower your effective fee on the AMEX Gold Card. So in other words, your effective fee is going to be much lower than $250. What I mean by this is that you'll first get a $120 Uber credit that's going to be broken up into $10 monthly increments every month and can be used for either Uber Rides or Uber Eats, but I found this to be most useful for a meal each month on Uber Eats. Additionally, you'll also get a $120 dining credit each month, that's also going to be broken up into $10 monthly increments and can be used for things like Grubhub or Shake Shack. And I've personally found this credit to be most valuable for a Grubhub pickup order at Chipotle. So if you are able to get the maximum value from those two $120 credits, which I think a lot of people can, then you can lower your effective fee on this card down from $250 down to just $10. In other words, you are basically paying an effective fee of $10 for those super strong point multipliers, access to the American Express hotel collection, and really strong redemption value capabilities that I will talk about right now. So in order to make sure that you're maximizing the value that you get from your AMEX Gold card, you also need to make sure that you understand the best ways to redeem the American Express points that you earn on this card. The first option for redeeming your American Express points is actually one that you should avoid, and that's going to be to redeem your points for cash back, because doing so will only give you 0.6 cents per point. Instead, the number one best redemption option with the points that you earn on your AMEX Gold card is going to be to transfer those points out to American Express's travel partners, because doing so will give you 2 cents per point in redemption value, or in other words, more than double the rate that you would get if you simply redeemed your points for cash back. Basically, the AMEX Blue Cash Everyday card that I discussed earlier is not going to give you the ability to transfer your points to American Express's travel partners. And this is precisely why having a card like the AMEX Gold card that earns those flexible American Express points is going to supercharge the amount of value that you can get from your points. Next up on my list is arguably the most popular and most talked about credit card that is out there on the market, and that card is going to be the American Express Platinum. Yes, the AMEX Platinum is going to have that really high annual fee of $695, so the American Express Platinum is not necessarily going to be for everyone, but this card is also going to give you some of the best travel perks that are out there. So things like airport lounge access, higher status with Hilton and Marriott, and a ton of credits that can lower your effective fee on this card. And I'll get into all of those benefits right now. First off, the American Express Platinum is going to give you a public welcome bonus offer of being able to receive 80,000 AMEX points when you're able to spend $6,000 or more in the first 6 months of having the card. And then the point multipliers are going to be 5x back on flights booked directly with airlines or through the AMEX travel portal, 5x back on prepaid hotels that are booked through the AMEX travel portal, and then 1x back on everything else. So honestly, that public welcome bonus and those point multipliers aren't going to be that great, but the real value on the AMEX Platinum card is going to come from all of the credits and benefits on this card. There are a ton of credits on the American Express Platinum, but for the sake of this video, I'm mainly going to be going over the most important credits that most people are able to use to lower their effective fee on the Platinum card. And those core credits are going to be a $200 Uber credit, a $200 airline fee credit, a $240 digital entertainment credit, and then a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit. So if you're considering getting the AMEX Platinum and you're like a lot of people and are able to maximize the value from those credits, then you get $740 in value, which would already be more than the fee that you pay on this card. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, there are a ton of other credits on the AMEX Platinum card that you can get value from. So if you want to see a full breakdown of all of the credits on the American Express Platinum, then just comment down below and I'd be happy to make that video. Even though the credits are great, the credits are not the only aspect on the AMEX Platinum card that makes this card arguably the best travel card out there on the market, as you'll also get other benefits such as the best airport lounge access, Hilton and Marriott Gold status, and then a bunch of other travel protections and important travel features such as no foreign transaction fees. The redemption options are also very similar to the AMEX Gold card, in which the best redemption option with the AMEX Platinum is going to be to utilize American Express's travel partners. Ultimately, if you travel frequently, then the AMEX Platinum is unbeatable in terms of the travel benefits, and this card is really a must-have card, especially if you can justify the fee by getting a lot of value from the different credits. The next American Express card that made my list is actually going to be the only business card on my list, and that card is going to be the Amazon Prime business card. You can pretty much buy anything on Amazon, and a lot of people spend a pretty significant amount of money on Amazon purchases every year. So what better way to take advantage of that spending by maximizing the value that you get in cash back from those purchases, especially if you have a business and a lot of your expenses come from Amazon. The Amazon Prime business card does not have an annual fee, with the only requirement being that you do need to have an Amazon Prime membership in order to get this card. The point multipliers on the Amazon Prime business card are going to be for 5% back on Amazon and Whole Foods purchases, 2% back on restaurants, gas stations, and wireless telephone providers, and then 1% back on everything else. So the key value here with the Prime business card is that you're able to use this card as your dedicated Amazon credit card for all the purchases that you need to make with your business or side hustle. I will say this card probably only makes sense if you already have an Amazon Prime membership and you already spend a decent amount of money on Amazon. But since a lot of you will probably qualify for both of those characteristics, then the Prime business card can definitely make sense for you as your dedicated Amazon credit card. Okay, so last but not least, my number one pick for the best American Express card in 2023 is going to be the Hilton Aspire card. The Aspire card is the high tier card within the Hilton ecosystem, so it does have a higher annual fee of $450, but this card, in my opinion, is the most overpowered American Express credit card, and that's due to the sheer magnitude of all the benefits that you get across this card. The Hilton Aspire card is a co-branded Hilton credit card, which basically means that instead of earning American Express points, you are going to earn Hilton Honors points, which can then be used for future Hilton property stays. So speaking on earning those Hilton Honors points, the Hilton Aspire card is going to have a welcome bonus of being able to receive 150,000 Hilton Honors points if you're able to spend $4,000 or more in the first 3 months of having the card. And since you're going to earn Hilton Honors points, the average Hilton point value is 0.6 cents per point, which would mean that this welcome bonus would give you a value of $900, but I do think that you could earn significantly more than that based on how smart you are with the Hilton redemptions that you make. The point multipliers on the Hilton Aspire card are going to be for 14x back on Hilton properties, 7x on flights, car rentals, and restaurants, and then 3x back on everything else. So you are already going to get some really solid point multipliers that are going to allow you to earn a significant amount of Hilton Honors points. They can allow you to redeem those for future Hilton stays. But the reason that the Hilton Aspire card is my number one pick for the best American Express card in 2023 is due to the insane amount of travel benefits that you get on this card that are going to significantly outpace the $450 fee that you pay on this card every year. To start with, the Aspire card is going to give you two $250 credits, which are going to be a $250 Hilton Resort credit that can be used for things like dining, spa, and hotel activities. And then you'll also get a $250 airline fee credit that can be used for things like checked bags, in-flight food and entertainment, and any flight change fees. So if you were able to maximize the value that you get from those two credits alone, then you'd get a total value of $500, which is already going to be more than the $450 fee on the Aspire card. But those credits aren't even the best aspect on the Hilton Aspire card, because the Aspire card is also going to give you automatic Hilton Diamond status and then a free night certificate every year just for having the card. Hilton Diamond status is the highest status with Hilton and will give you benefits such as the best space available room upgrades that will include like suite level rooms, a daily food and beverage credit, and then Hilton Executive Lounge access. And then the best part about that Hilton free night certificate that you'll automatically get is that free night certificate is going to be completely uncapped. And I actually just redeemed my Hilton free night certificate for an oceanfront room at the Waldorf Astoria Cancun for my honeymoon, which had a value of $900. So both Hilton Diamond status and that free night certificate are going to by themselves give you over $500 in value. And I did just make a full video breaking down those benefits, so I'll link that up above right now. Go watch that video when you're done watching this one. But since the two credits, Hilton Diamond status and that free night certificate, are all going to single-handedly give you more value than the fee that you pay on this card every year, you can basically break these benefits into 3 different segments, and then all of those segments are going to give you more value than the fee. And so basically you're going to get triple the amount of value than the fee on this card every year. But in conclusion, all 5 of these American Express credit cards are going to be great options for specific types of people. And while these cards are great, you might actually prefer a Chase credit card. And I did actually just make a full video going over my top 5 picks for the best Chase credit cards in 2023. So go watch that video next. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I appreciate all of you for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.